And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I will never get over the introduction for APAC North. It is so action-packed, full of light, full of music, and that is where we begin today. It's Cyclops versus DWG KIA. Hello, I'm Milosh. On the desk with me are Hap and Jess. We're going to break things down for this first game. And how about then we chat about our up-and-coming team, DWG KIA from Korea, who've been looking at after they entered out of nowhere in our last stage into APAC North. And they've been really causing some disturbances for the teams that have been here for a while.
Yeah, they have been indeed, and they started off stage one, and it was, you know, they were doing well. They were carrying their own weight. Of course, ended at the bottom of the board, but then they came in stage two, Cloud9, first opponent, 7-0, and you're like, excuse me, DWG KIA, you're here to play apparently for the top stage this time, and of course they unfortunately lost against T1 in overtime in the second matchup of that stage, but at least shows there is a lot of potential that is being unpacked and unraveled right now for DWG KIA, and I'm really excited to see how the development will go and develop over the rest of the stage.
Yas is an incredible player.
He is an incredible player. I believe he's top of the leaderboards now, actually.
Rin has been doing pretty incredibly as well.
Yeah, Yas currently 1.59 rating, top of the board.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
Let's put it out there. Of course, their win rate is 50%. They ended up defeating Cloud9 in their first Playday. That was a blowout. They're 7-0 for DWG KIA. A huge game against the #1 team in Korea, at least in that time. They lost, though, to overtime versus T1, another big Korean name in our last Playday, though. Jess, I turn to you for a second one. It is Cyclops Athlete Gaming. A lot of people calling them now, really, not just the best team in Japan, but the best team in APAC North.
And rightfully so. After a really nice performance at Six Invitational, I know they got knocked out, but some of the plays that they pulled out were very, very characteristic of not only their sub-region, but APAC North as a whole. We're talking about unique or outdated play styles. Think of it as you may, but it doesn't really matter at all because what they've been doing so far in the first few Playdays have been reminiscent of the new top dogs of APAC North. Not a single player is below a 1.0 rating. They are all positively rated. They've been doing a heck of a lot. Even though they only have that OT win, it means that they probably would have been, if they had have pulled out that outright win in regulation, they would be tied top spot now with Fab. So unfortunately, they narrowly miss out by a point, but it doesn't really matter because I think at the end of the day, given their last stage performance, this stage performance where it's looking like they're projected to be heading, they will do quite well for themselves. And today should be an easy game, but who knows? I think their opponents can be a little bit of a wild card.
Well, wildcard play in APAC South, Jess. Wow.
Wow.
I thought you were an analyst.
I saw on OCE, did not hear.
I just wake up and say words.
Same.
Fair enough.
I get paid per word.
I wish.
Oh.
Cyclops, I mean, technically, if you break it down, yes, in Renown. Cyclops versus Fnatic was a very important game for Cyclops, if you ask me. Defeating Fnatic in that might really help them out to be in the top 2, top 3 by the end of the stage. And that OT win, even though it was the opener, was a pretty good W for him. Let's take a look at our head-to-head. You guys picked one player out of each one of these two teams, and I'm curious, the two names that are going to be brought up here. Not surprised about Yas and Gator, but Hap, can you please help me out here?
These are currently, even though they do not exactly fill the same roles, the top 2 rated players in the league. Yas #1, Gator #2. With that, of course, big impacts on their teams, whereas Yas, for example, a very high KD ratio, always has an impact almost every single round, whereas Gator normally gets the opening kills, make sure that they are able to well, how would you say it, to create space. They allow for the rest of the team to move in and do what they do best, and with that also going quite positive. So yeah, the 2 most impactful players so far. Let's see if who gets the more impact this time around.
And it's funny as well because I was looking over the cost of both the players and I was looking at Gator, who's had an excellent season. As you said, 1.35 rating is really well up there, really challenging Yas for that top dog spot. But he has a pretty low cost, and I think that comes down to the role. So if you're wondering why there might be differences in cost that we don't necessarily have up for you, I think Yas plays a safer role. He's alive longer in the round. He uses more utility. He's more likely to plant. He's more likely to do the things that will fulfill the requirements of cost. Whereas Gator, he's got going to be your entry kill. That's why he's got the 4 opening kills. He's going to be the guy that is likely to survive less in the round, but he's doing his damage. I think he has 4 opening kills, 4 opening deaths.
Yeah.
So he's par for par at the moment. If he just keeps that opening kill up a little bit more on a positive, he might be a really, really strong contender.
All right, which map will we see them face off against? That's my next question, and I think the answer is pretty much ready here from our production team. We're going to go to Clubhouse. Saved from Coastline, thank you very much, Damwon Kia. Cyclops will remove Oregon just before that, and because of that Damwon ban, it means that they can decide on the last map, which will be Clubhouse in this best of 1 series. Because they decided on the map, it means that Cyclops get to pick the starting side, and then we'll go for defense on Clubhouse. Not surprising, really, but what do numbers say for this one, my friends?
The thing is, Clubhouse is a very 50-50 map nowadays, so it really depends on the team who has the best package at the day to make sure that they're coming up with it. Cyclops overall should have the advantage, in my opinion, purely due to the fact that they have a little bit more experience also on the international stage where Clubhouse is a very popular map.
It's important you bring up that international because the only international or even beyond their regional league that they've had an experience recently on Clubhouse, they got 7-1 by Furia. Furia played excellently. They played excellently. So how you want to take away from that and go, well, Cyclops actually recently have had pretty bad performance, but in their regional league have done quite well on this map. I weight them incredibly differently. Obviously, World Championships up here, regional league down here. So, I don't know. Recent performance regionally, check. Damwon Kia, love this map though. So if you're on a comfortable map, could be a good place to put the thorn in the side of Cyclops.
Then what can Damwon Kia bring on the attacking side to make the defensive Cyclops worried about what's coming on the other end?
It's hard, isn't
Very
it?
poignant question.
It is, because you always want to be able to look at the compositions. I always pull up the compositions per map and go, okay, how's it looking? What are they usually bringing? And, I mean, it's just a mixed bag. Sometimes a Blitz, sometimes a Monty, sometimes a Yana. I mean, that's what Cyclops like to do on this map. But if you're looking over to Damwon Kia, especially on attack, they keep everything pretty well concise. You got the ace, as you saw. Yas, he loves to play the ace. That's one of his main. And then moving through, and when the Thatcher's not banned, they really love to bring that as well. But those critical bans will be the key for me. Do they get rid of the Thatcher, leave Flores in play? Do you get rid of Maverick? Or do you get rid of the Flores and keep maybe a Maverick in play? I mean, there's so many options now for Clubhouse. That's the thing with
Clubhouse. There is no win-win in the bans. Because if you ban Maverick, they're going to bring Thatcher and the wall's going to open up within 30 seconds. If you ban Thatcher, they'll bring Maverick and the wall's still going to open up in 30 seconds. But you might have a chance to counter it with a Nitro Cell that doesn't get killed anymore by any electricity on the wall. So you might be able to...
It's a fun little fact, that as well.
Yeah. That might be a way.
And do you remember Habana bans were huge for a while as well? Now there's not enough bans.
Especially with the Capital being pushed through the window to try and stop.
Now you got Flores in play. You see some.
You know what? Clubhouse used to be cool because you could see like a Maverick Thatcher ban. You could go, whoa, it's going to be so hard for the attackers. And now you've got all these only like
20 million options. The wall will open up. There's no holding back on it. You even see defensive teams nowadays just. Why do we bring denial? There's no point in it.
Like, some will just put a mute jammer on the wall and they're like, alrighty.
That's it. We did what we need to do.
We did it.
The mute jammer
fixed her up.
We did what we need to do. The wall will open up anyway. It might be better to stop the information game.
Leave it soft.
No, don't leave it soft because you want to let them at least use a piece of
you want them to use their hard breach.
Yeah.
I mean.
Just like using a mute, for example, stops the information gain, whereas a bandit, if the walls open up, is basically useless.
Whoa.
Well, what do you mean? His gadget is basically useless at that point.
I mean, there's other walls on the map, so I'm just saying, especially on CCTV, which has a pretty horrific win rate these days, unfortunately. Teams attacking side have worked out how to manipulate Garage. And with that brand new plant spot inside of CC window, I really feel like Team Empire was the first one to do it. I might be wrong. Of course, I haven't watched every game in every region from the very beginning of this year. But Team Empire started planting in the window so they didn't have to take garage control, and as a result they would open up the right hand side looking out from the platform in. They would open up, cut lines aside, jump into that window in CCTV, and you don't have to take garage at all. And I thought you couldn't change clubhouse anymore, but all of a sudden changing a default plant spot to a different area meant you could play completely different. So it's not just the meta, it's not just the operators, it's also teams are adapting and innovating.
That's why we watch the best teams in the world, because every day there might be something new that they pull out. The innovation that we have in Rainbow Six. I mean, look at the metagame with changing with every single operator that is added into the game.
That's the beauty of Siege.
And even without that, there's still a lot of change that is happening. You know, we came out in new places, more efficient ways to enter a site, make sure that we're saving time and giving ourselves more time to plan. Because I feel for a lot of up-and-coming teams and teams that don't have as much experience as some of the biggest names in Siege, their biggest problem is time. How to deal with it? And once you really grow up as a team and in experience internationally, especially, those like 20 seconds seems like an eternity for you because you're just so good at maneuvering your pieces in the right place.
It's actually quite fun because last stage we did a piece, wasn't really know-how Siege back then, but on the same site. And I went into the stats and found out that the plants nowadays in 2021 overall have been about 15 to 20 seconds quicker into the round.
Give context to that because that is huge.
Yeah, but
that is a huge difference.
That's a big thing. The plants are happening quicker, and that is due to the fact that the walls just open up so easily, which normally took you a minute and a half. Now it takes you 30 seconds, and that is 30 extra seconds you can use to clear out garage or clear out construction and cache.
Man, it's so much better than the days where you just have like 7 shields that are put.
It's also a meta change as well. We don't have the 20-second meta anymore, so you're not opening the wall and then going, oh no, I have like 15 other walls to deal with of shields and mirrors and this and that. So yeah, okay, the layers have been retracted considerably. But yeah, there's so much going on. And I do want to say, especially in APAC North, teams have started working out their synergy. And I think it's showing a bit more on attack as well. And I think it's just the timing of everything culminating into a nice little attacking package.
There have been a lot of rounds that have ended just on pure time because teams, I mean, on our first day, it was the change where now you have to manually pick up a diffuser to be able to take it.
People running over it.
It still happens. It will happen for the rest of the stage, for the rest of the year possibly, because for 5 years it hasn't been a thing.
Yes.
And now it is. So all these players that have been playing since the start, they're going to have to get used to it. And something that you used to for 5 years, changing that suddenly, that is going to take some adaptation.
Don't give me the diffuser in a game. No. From now on, Zofia, Ash main, don't need the diffuser.
What do you mean from now on? You're literally an Ash player. You do not know how to do...
I'm a support player by nature.
Bullshit, mate, honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, no. I'm shutting this down right now.
We literally work in the same office together. I sit right next to you. I see what you're doing, Jess.
I'm a flex support player.
Keep telling yourself that lie. Fair enough. All right. So in preparation for this, we know that the attacking side of Damwon can deal with Cyclops. But what can Cyclops do then to slow them down if the attacking side is so favored now and just, I can breach into anything?
Who's starting on attack and defense, by the way? That might give us
it's Damwon on attack.
Damwon KIA on attack? Ooh, all right. Let me just bring this up real quick. Let me bring this up just so that everyone is like, all right, what do the stats show? Because they have 51 games since January, so we have a lot of sample size to work with. They're a defensive-sided team by about on Clubhouse. No, in general.
Oh,
you're so right. Thank you, because you know what? The stats are just... It is, right? No, good defensive, 57% win rate on their defense. If you go over to the attack, only 46. So they will be a defensive-sided team on this map historically. So we'll see.
Only slightly, though?
Well, yeah, the change overall is 55 to 45, a little bit lower, a little bit higher than that.
Do we have a site, like per site win?
You want to know how they win? Defensively?
Per site, yes.
Oh, or not attacking? All right, let's bring up the defense. And I have here, they love the bottom floor. Love going to the bottom floor, their most predominant site to go to. And
no bar stock.
They have 0 bar stock played in any league. I'm so sorry, Hap. I really am.
I just want to say I have a 100% win rate in bar stock in ranked.
You played it once.
No, I played it actually every single time I get my team to do it. I go for it.
Which get my team to do it as if
it's like 10 context.
Oh.
I just start shouting bar stock, and sometimes people will listen.
They have a huge retake ability on the bottom floor as well. That's something that we don't always bring up, is that teams might be able to let the plant go, but know exactly how to retake it. So this is something that this team on the bottom floor, Church and Arsenal, is really, really good at doing. I'm happy to see that kind of stat because you don't always get the context of how teams are winning in each side. And by looking at it, I mean, I know that they love bottom floor. They have a really good retake potential on it. They also have a really good retake potential on Master and Gym. They don't play it the most. It's one of their least played sides. But you know, if they do have to go there as their last site, that they do have the potential, if things go a little bit wrong, to retake.
What about Cyclops then, Hap?
I just got the overall map stats here. From the entirety of Stage 1 and Stage 2 combined, we see a total of 21 round wins on attack, which is a 33.3%, and 66.
Is it because they've been winning a lot of their defense so often that they don't need to play as much on the attack?
That would be factual. Given the numbers I have here, I think that kind of theory does play out. Yeah. Because I am looking on the... And you know what? To be fair with them, they have banned this since January a heck of a lot. They do not like going to this map. Maybe this is regional league based.
Cyclops,
they want to keep it. This is Cyclops, of course. And maybe they want to be keeping it for this Tier 1 play and be using it when they can. But I've seen some really, really good stuff from them. One thing that we didn't theory craft before, Hap, that we should have when I brought up the whole shield thing, sometimes they'll bring a Monty, and sometimes when that's banned, which it is banned against them on this map quite considerably, they'll bring a Blitz. But what if the Monty ban comes out and then you can only pick either Thatcher, Flores, Maverick, or Hibana? Those are the one of the 4 bans, and you want, realistically, to get rid of 2 of those.
Have DWG KIA been using Flores much now?
Oh, let's have a look.
I don't think they did.
Let's get rid of Clubhouse.
One of the
Let's
teams
just do
It was open once, and then he never picked it in the entire game.
I think DWG KIA is the team that has not been playing Flores that much. At least it was one of the teams in APAC North, and I believe it was
0. There you go.
There you go. So you don't have to ban it in that case, or at least you can take the gamble on not banning it.
Yeah, you can gamble.
You can gamble it.
But this is not a gambling game. The odds are here for Cyclops. That's it. That's what we have to throw.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Hap, for all of this. I know it was a longer segment. We were waiting for one of our players to reboot their computer and their setup to be ready to play, and it is time indeed. We're going to head over to Hanover for this one on Clubhouse and toss it then to our casters. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Ace and not Tim next to him. It's actually Dezichu. Take us away. It's Cyclops, DWG KIA.
I think I can get used to not Tim. Ace and not Tim kind of works a little bit.
Just keeping my names in there.
As long as your name's present, that's all you care about. I'll sit here being not Tim for a while, so it's Ace and not Tim for the first game of the day. No surprise that the social vote is heavily in favour of Cyclops. They have looked phenomenal, if not the best team in APAC North right now. Tim kind of being contested alongside Fnatic, I would wager. But given Cyclops' recent performance at SI, I think it's hard to argue that they aren't looking sharp. However, they are coming into a map that they've banned away over 20 times this year and only, not had banned against them 4. It is by far and away one of their least favourite maps to play. They have played it a few times, not really here in APAC North. So it treated something a little bit different today. And I hope the games that they've played in the Japanese League, all in best of 3s, by the way, has helped them out a little bit here, ready for a game in APAC North.
Well, let's see if we get anything different in our banning phase to begin with, and it's certainly not looking like it as Thatcher comes in as the first ban. So that's going to just help protect those gadgets a little bit. There'll be none of those EMP grenades to be launched around, disabling those electronics. Don't destroy the electronics anymore. It's all about disabling them for a period of time, and they do come back online. But Hibana, interestingly, Jess mentioned the Hibana ban dropping away from Clubhouse quite a lot recently, which is absolutely correct. But being brought back through here by DWG KIA.
We saw it banned away in Yukin last night, actually. I think because she's become, Ubi even described her as they wanted to be the queen of hatches. Because she can now cycle across to having 2, 4, or 6 hits Cairo, she can just keep on layering on 2 charges at a time. You need 4 in total to destroy a hatch. So even if the enemy team brings along, say, 6 impact nades, they still can't completely block you from getting a hatch open, so no big surprise to see her taken away. What I am somewhat surprised and concerned about here is there is no KIA ban. Whenever you see them playing on the downstairs now, and likely inside of the garage, you might just find it getting picked up quite a lot, as of course that the Thatcher you can't do too much about it. Yes, you've got the Maverick in response, and you will see him picked up, no doubt, every single round, but I'd be very surprised if we don't see these teams make use of the KIA at some point.
Especially, I think, yeah, you're right, up on CCTV and Cash Room, you can play those couple of nasty electricals up on top of the balcony above the garage walls, and they're very difficult to clear out without the Thatcher. Now then, interestingly, Clash goes and in comes Caveira.
No way does the Caveira stay.
We might
no
be
way.
she's in.
I mean, how...
We might be in an alternate reality here.
Okay, we're spectating my rank games, I guess, is the way things are setting up. For Cyclops, something spicy was going to be needed, I think, to really play big disruptor on this map. And, I mean, look at the lineup here as well. You've got the Ella, you've got the Kavira, you've got the Vigil, the Mutant, the Mozzie. This just screams to me they want to play this really heavy roam game, just be completely off the radar for Damwon and try and catch them by surprise. And, hey, might turn out that way for them. It depends whether or not, of course, the Jackal can get to any real work. I almost want to know if this is a piece where they sat down and analysed how DWG KIA play the game, and they said they love the Jackal, so what do we do to bring a response to that? Bring along the Kavira.
What's the response to Kavira, Des? The response is, let's rush to site and we'll see if DWG KIA pick up on that or not and take that opportunity. You know, like you say, there's likely to be a heavy off-site presence here. If DWG KIA read into that and just blitz their way onto site and then hold down those rotates, it could be a tough round for Cyclops, but it doesn't look like DWG KIA are moving with quite enough aggression towards that aim just yet. It looks like it is going to be an attempt at a top floor clearance from them. So how do you deal with a Kavira, Des? Well, it's generally, or should be, relatively easy. First of all, you locate her, and then you pinch with 2 or 3 players. Depending which weapon she's brought, particularly, to be honest, even if it is her rifle, engage at range. She's not very good over sort of mid to long range. She's thriving in those CQC combats. Now then, Katsang has been downed, and that is a danger with a Kavira on the map. He will be picked up there, but obviously any sort of downed operator that could be interrogated is a security risk at that point.
Was that? I think he fell off the roof, right? I don't think he was
so.
shot down in that case, and unfortunate, of course, to be taken so low, but those frag grenades stay on side. 4 in total. There's Rin starting things off onto Irrigator. So down goes the Vigil here. It's not the Cav that we've been speaking about so often, but it is still one of those pesky roamers that are so hard to track down, removed from the field.
Second rated player as well, and the entire APAC North is taken out immediately, so that is not a bad start there from DWG KIA, getting the man off the board. The challenge comes in, and what a nasty peek from Suzuki there onto the window. A beautiful headshot onto Yas through the barricade, bringing things up, leveling it out 4-4. A minute and a half and plenty of action already in this one.
You just saw it lining up as well. Once he kind of got himself ready, just so he knew he could flick out and just spray and get the 1-2 tap onto the head. Beautiful stuff. So one for either side at this point. A minute and 10 left on the clock, and there's still droning going on the top floor here from the side of DWG KIA, and this again is the worry of the roamers. How much time are you going to waste up here before you say, guys, we have to ignore them now, we've got to start thinking about the site? That's when they really come down and bite you on the backside as soon as you're starting to think about the vertical angles, getting hatches open, things along those lines, things that Woogie no doubt has got some focus to put onto. They're starting to square up to look down blue, look inside a kitchen. 45 seconds, Ace. Starting to feel a bit nervous.
A little bit of indecision from Quartered there on the thermite. Not quite sure if he was convinced which hatch he was heading towards. He had a little look into stock, then towards kitchen, back towards stock. Now, the Kavira is still out on the roam. Gatarada could prove an absolute nightmare here. I'm not sure that DWG KIA has got his position nailed down. He's currently inside of billiards, and the push has come down blue. Now, if he can make his way over to one of those hatches, potentially, he could have a real impact in this round. Suzuki, he gets a bit of damage on him. Black Ray manages to put up a fight in the dirt tunnel, but is shut down as 2 kills come in. Anaton gets one onto Katsang, 2 versus 3. It's all down to that. Kavira drops back into sight. You see him. They come off the diffuser. No option now. It's all down to Gatarada. Makes the challenge, but there is cover. He gets him. He gets the planter and closes it out. I'm not sure how he's got away with that one, Des. Dealing with dirt tunnels. Somehow the cover should have been there.
I don't think they knew that he was downed in dirt. I think they assumed that he was back up on his feet, and they had the longer angle coming from blue. So in his mind, there was 2 crosses. Dirt and blue chose to take the challenge onto dirt again, not having the knowledge that we did that the player was down. Made me nervous because he could have flicked round to his right and killed the guy in the plant straight away, probably there without even exposing himself to dirt in the first place. But it's still a 1 versus 3 minus the kills, just stopping the planter and forcing time to run down. Good time wasting tactic coming out of Cyclops, but DWG KIA looked scary for me. They got those kills. They were in the 3 versus 1. Something no doubt that Cyclops will need to be conscious of.
They did look good, and we're not really seeing too much of a reaction to the Kavera pick. Obviously, it's been 6th picked away there, but Cyclops just using it as a little bit of a threat as well. The Kavera could still be on the board, but we haven't seen a Jackal brought along, for instance, from DWG KIA as a direct response to try and track down and make that Kavera's life difficult. Of course, any footsteps that she takes inside of her silent step would counter the Jackal Inox, but for the majority of the time of her movement, it would make life more difficult. But DWG KIA, not too interested. I think they were pretty happy with how they dealt with that operator in the last round. Just not really engaging with her, just allowing her to sit out there on the flanks. And it was ultimately Gatorada who closed out the round, but it wasn't from a flank attack. It was from dropping back into sight and preventing that diffuser going down. And we just see the ending again here. Out comes the impact nade to try and prevent the plant going down. Like you say, I think the assumption was they had cover from blue and shots came in. Maybe an assumption that Dirt Tunnel was still active in some way or could still have some sort of part to play, I don't know. But Gatorada, one way or another, manages to slip past the man in blue and find the kill that closed out the round.
Gym Bedroom, it's going to be next. As apparently we have a little bit of lag, so maybe a rehost coming in a second. Guess we'll find out once things get back to normal. But Gym Bedroom, you are right, and a much more normal setup being brought along here. So none of the Vigil, none of the Kavera again. Things looking a little bit more, I suppose, back to business for both sides. On the other side, though, Yas on the Capital. I love seeing Capital, but only a couple of teams have ever really leveraged him to any great detail. Some teams like G2 spring to mind when I think about how they attack Garage, for example, putting those firebolts up into Catwalk, out towards the east side of the map to force the player to move and then normally run into a line of fire, not literal fire, that's what the firebolts are there for, but force them into a line of fire from the rest of the attackers to be easily brought down. So I'm keen to see how they set up about using this and what position they're bringing this along to spam those firebolts into to force the defender to move.
Inside the first minute then, and we've got the hot tub wall open. Yas will find an opener onto Black Ray. That's going to leave us now 5 versus 4 in favour of DWG KIA. Taking some control over the east side of the map as well. We can see now Cyclops have got 3 returned back to sight. Iregator's holding a nasty angle down in Dirt Tunnel. It's one that you get hit with repeatedly in ranked. Always frustrated with this one. I've caught a few people out myself with it.
It all generates that normal shout response of, why is he there?
He's there because he can hit you on the hot tub balcony, that's why.
Always the way, as I look at it, always the way. I mean, in this spot there, they had the 2 almost kills coming onto Iregator and Gatto at the same time. Black Ray got away, well, didn't get away, sorry, he found himself dead, obviously, at the back end of things. And Iregator now is finally down, so they've caught him out inside of Dirt Tunnel, I think, here. A bit unfortunate, as he's running on the spot whilst down, I guess. That's the thing.
I'm not sure if the lag might actually be on sort of the spectator side. We saw at the beginning of the prep phase it was acting up a little bit like this, and then it all sort of seemed to catch up and things were happening in the background. We'll see as the round progresses, I've no doubt. But as you say, Iregator just down at the minute inside Dirt. This is, as I say, it's all catching up. So I think the game is actually unaffected at the minute. Coated is getting that diffuser down once again. There was an attempt in round 1 unsuccessfully, but the diffuser will be planted this time. It is going to be a successful plant, and that now leaves a 1 versus 5 for Suzuki as he's trying to close this round out. He's going to have a lot of work to do. 30 seconds left to go. Will he find the Capitao? Does get the down onto Yas, comes through with the pistol to finish it. 1 versus 4, but time is running out, and his life as well. As Katsang, he finishes off the round for us. You're going to come back and have a little look at me and Des while we just get, I think, our spectator all sorted there, so we're not struggling with that lag. But a good game on our hands so far. We've had a round going either direction. DWG KIA looking very competitive so far with Cyclops. Maybe more than people might have thought. Not me. I've been shouting for DWG KIA. I know that they're a side who can bring it. And that's what they've done so far.
The comments I had is that, look at the week 1 against C9. Everyone's beating C9 right now. So you can kind of park that one to one side. Remember, it's still a thing, but park it to one side. And then you look back at last week and their attacks, they left a bit to be desired.
They weren't amazing. The
one thing they do have, and I'll always give them credit for this, is they do have some phenomenal fraggers on this side. As we spoke about them time and time again, Yas last week was their big competitor stacking up against 11, who sadly was just a bigger clutcher, it turns out. That game last week, I think they could have lost 7-4, 7-5, because there were 2 rounds that Yas did clutch out, round 7 and round 9. He was in a 1v2, 1v3, won both of them. Phenomenal work by him. But look at the other players on there. We spoke about Rin for a lot of last stage and the sort of thing they were doing too. So there are players to be excited excited about. The one thing I'm really waiting to click for them before I get really excited is the sort of thing that I'm currently really excited about Fnatic for is that strategical play. Not getting stalled out on the attack, being flexible but being determined and working as a team. Here, they're running through the map and, you know, having their way essentially with the other side of Cyclops. And that's surprising, given, again, iGator, second best rate in the competition. Black Ray, Gatorada in week 1 got 30 kills between the two of them. They're no rollovers.
Absolutely not.
But Damwon are making it look that way.
Absolutely. The thing is, you look at this matchup so far, it could easily be 2-0 Damwon KIA.
Absolutely, I agree.
There was bullets that rained in onto Gatorada, on the Caveira from blue. You know, you get a headshot there. Different matter. You've just won the round and it's 2-0. So, yeah, it's fine margins at the minute, and Damwon KIA coming out and being very competitive with the Cyclops side that, as you say, we haven't really seen sort of challenged too much so far. So it's going to be an interesting test of character for them at this point. You know, exactly how do they react? Let's also mention the entry as well. Damwon KIA having both of the entry kills so far, coming in, Rin and Yas being successful in those opening moments, getting that man advantage, and Cyclops, again, might just feel like the back's to the wall a little bit here. And let's not forget that stat that Jess picked up on beforehand, that we would expect statistically maybe a better defence to come out of Damwon KIA as well. So this could be the tougher half for them, if anything.
I agree as well. I mean, I'm always very admirable of Cyclops' attacks, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Keen to see how they do against Damwon if they're out on the roam on a map that Damwon are far more comfortable on than Cyclops, going by the numbers. Again, Cyclops have only played this map a few times this year, I think 4 times in total. All of them in the Japanese league in best of 3s. Interestingly, picked by them twice, which suggests that it's kind of one of those, it's a BDS and Villa relationship, right? Where you ban it all of last year, you come into this year and think, well, we need to learn it. It's one of the most default maps in the game. Let's give it a go in the Japanese league and then try it in APAC North. And remember when BDS tried it in EUL? Didn't go so well, so it went back to the drawing board with that one. Maybe it's going to be a similar sort of story today, heaven knows. But talking about that second round again, we noted the chip damage that came down onto the 2, forget what the players' names were, being completely honest, the 2 that were at the bottom. 2 of them are taking really heavy chip damage, and the entry kill
one was iGator on the Valk, that was within the first 20 seconds, just got absolutely peppered through a barricade.
Yeah, and 2 of them were basically dead to rights. One more bullet on either of them, they would have been dead. They carried on and get the 3rd kill as well. Suddenly, it's a 5 versus 2 for Damwon KIA, and they're running away with things.
Yeah, I think the way that iGator played it, I didn't really mind, to be honest. He was low health, 15 or so hit points, and thought, you know what, I'm going to get myself down to Dirt Tunnel. I'm going to just try for a really cheeky angle up onto Hot Tub Balk. If I get a one-tap headshot, great. I've absolutely maximised the HP that I've got left. As it was, Damwon KIA switched on today, and they were ready for that. They had that in the back of their minds, and the thing is, it's an easy spray down from Hot Tub Balk. If you know that somebody's in there, it's a soft wall, you just spray the whole thing. And when iGator's sat on 15, 20 health, it's only taking 1 bullet more than likely to put him down.
And there's no bullet holes anymore.
Nope.
So there's a big, massive punch-sized hole in the wall.
You've got to go full punch hole on it.
That's it. You can't do it anymore. But they can look around and go, oh, that wall doesn't look weird. And someone's dead. End of story. It's that simple and clean. Thanks for sticking with us, though. We are back into game, and hopefully the lag issue for the players has been rectified. Round number 3 coming in. We're going back to gym and bedroom once again. This is like that meme where the guy's like shaking his head in the truck going, nah, that's bait. That must get 6 picked away. Surely they're not going to just blind pick it and say, yes, we're definitely going with Caveira here, and they can then adapt as a result. Apparently they are. The Kai was being hovered. I spoke about that a little bit in the operator ban phase, about how with the Thatcher banned away, the Maverick, yes, is available, so it does lessen the impact of a Kai. Maybe you'd see that. But that also has been taken away. So a comp not massively dissimilar to what we saw back in round 1. You're just losing the Mozzie and the Vigil here in exchange for a Jaeger, which I feel you really need on this site to protect any shields that you bring along, as well as iGator playing on the Valk.
Interesting choice for Gatorada, as you said, Des, bringing along that Caveira. It's one of those picks that we really don't see very much of, and you get the feeling that it's much more of a sort of a little pocket strategy. You bring it along, you just sort of maybe even bring it in as a 6th pick, just surprise the other team, and maybe you get away with a little cheeky play on the Caveira, but bringing her along a 2nd round, a 3rd round, I'm not too sure. As I said, for players at this level, she should be reasonably easily dealt with. The droning, for example, the droning on these sides is phenomenal. They will know every nut and bolt of this level before they're going into it. They'll know where the players are stationed. They'll know who they're going up against. You find Gatorada, you close him down with at least 2, if not 3, and that is Caveira done. She is not built to fight in numbers. She is not built to fight at range. There are plenty of options, and I want to see Damwon KIA employ 1 or 2 of those options here and get her dealt with this time. Don't allow her to collapse back to site later.
Well, they didn't care, because in the last round, if you remember, she was hanging around by pool and then flanked across towards lounge to try and come down blue, but they had a flank drone on the go. Turn around, shoot her in the head as soon as she walks at you. It was that easy. I was watching in quite attentively to see if it would be the late round party spoiler, a lot like Bibu on Monday in Vitality's game on Villa. Often late round flanks completely came in and crushed the other side on the flank, and I was hoping we'd see the same coming out of Suzu C, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. So here for him, be very, very mindful of those drones, for example, and whoa, we're going grayscale mode now, Ace. Look at it. Vintage Siege. I love it.
We really are going vintage, aren't we? So we will continue on for the time being. It's one that I've not seen before. 5 versus 5. Irrigator late in the round putting one of those black eye cams out there, but can be very effective because obviously the attackers come in looking for those gadgets to begin with, and if that's in an area they've already checked, maybe they don't notice it later into the round. There we go. We're back. We're back to colour, Des.
We found the fix. You've got to watch someone throw a drone.
It is no longer like a film noir. We're heading back
like
into colour. It was certainly interesting. Now, Yash just deploying another drone on the Capitao there, looking to feed some information in Gatorada. One to keep an eye on all the way down in the basement on the Caveira here, utilising that silent step as much as possible to try and move around the map with as little sound and impact as he can to try and surprise somebody.
We saw the drones for Damwon for a second there, giving you the overview, or at least seeing where the Jaeger was as he stepped up. So for Damwon Kia, nothing really going to surprise him too much here. And for Cyclops, it almost feels like they're not 100% sure of what to do. Like, they've got these roamers out there trying to be disruptive, but consistently what you're seeing is Damwon Gaming just being incredibly passive and saying, hey, we're not really too worried about this. We've got drones down. We can catch if you do try and go aggressive. We get set up towards the site. We look for the push in, and with the breach opened up here, there's not too much to worry about. Frag grenade coming over Black Ray, lucky to keep his life there, I think, as the mute jammer at his feet was destroyed, and he only took a couple of chip points of damage. But it's like in the previous round, 3 members damaged, no one yet dead, but it will happen at some point.
It certainly will. Black Ray on the Ella just looking to hold inside a bathroom. Important location right now. You hear that asphyxiation arrow, and Gatorada has managed to catch Katsang with a headshot. Anaton Suzuki getting in on the act. 5 versus 2 as it all starts to fall apart for the Damwon Kia attack.
Let's
We've
go.
got it down. Surely here it comes. Gatorada successfully getting the interrogation just before being sprayed down by Coated, but he will be shut down by Suzuki at the end of the round there. And I mean, if the Caveira is going to get brought along, Des, we might as well have an interrogation.
I think he full well knew the chances of Coated coming sprinting back out of gym to come and shoot him as he was going for the interrogation was going to happen, but you do it for the style points. That's the sort of thing that goes in a bio on Twitter. Oh, got one interrogation in APAC North, and you hold that one for the rest of your career, and it even goes on your CV. So, with the success in that round, are they really going to stick it again? Surely we see a change away, because this comp that you're seeing now, identical to what we saw in round 1.
It is. I think, yes, we are going to see the 6 pick away from Gatorada. Interestingly, Damwon Kia finally bringing the Jacqueline, saying, right, we've had enough of that action. But this is good from Cyclops, Des. This is big mind games here. This is like, you know, turning it into 3D chess, because now it's like, right, we're going to put the Caveira in the lineup because you're a little bit scared of her now after we've had an interrogation. But we're going to switch it away. We're going to bring an intel app. We're going to bring the very useful Valkyrie. But now what they've done is they've controlled 20% of Damwon Kia's lineup choice there. They've baited out that Jackal pick, an operator that Damwon Kia likely wouldn't have brought otherwise. So now you start asking the question, are they missing anything?
Well, time will tell, I suppose. We'll see if they can deal with it in this round. However, I'll go as far as saying that, at least with the Caveira, they're not trying to play it in this, you know, hyper-aggressive way. They're not looking to greet them on the entry. They're waiting until the late round and then looking to have the flanking impact. And it doesn't take a Cav to do that, but it's definitely not a bad thing, especially if you can't hear her coming and she gets behind you and suddenly say, oh man, I was solo pushing blue and now I'm being interrogated, so the push on the other side of the map is completely exposed. It's almost a bit of a gamble, and I don't want to say it's like an intel pick in itself. I mean, the Valkyrie and the Mozzie here are absolutely the intel picks that you want coming through, but if you do get that interrogation off, some of the attackers, all their plans are completely orchestrated for the entire round, and it's all too easy.
Oh, it is. It's a big blow if an interrogation does go down. You know, at the end of the day, it was towards the end of the round. It was 1 man left. It wasn't the end of the world. The outcome was likely the same, but the only outcome we're seeing here is Black Ray being shot to death by Rin. We will have Gatorada getting one of his own from the Valkyrie on to Coated. That's the Thermite gone. So all this work now to open up the east wall is going to come down to Woogieman on the Maverick. We don't have another hard breach option, and that also leaves him responsible responsible for hatches. Let's not forget that we're attacking onto the bottom floor here. This is Church and Arsenal. Honestly, that is a big opener for Cyclops, and things are not going to be easy for DWG KIA from here on in.
Ooh, Anderton almost getting sprayed through the soft wall. I remember actually an old clip that I think it was Mag posted at some point last year from a scrim, and of course it had been approved, so no one minded. I believe it was a scrim against Cyclops, where they get up onto the south balcony and suddenly 4 people jump out of windows, and it's like, what the hell is going on? So when we have seen Cyclops play this map, albeit in a scrim, they do like this more aggressive style of, you know, trying to push into different areas of the map, make the attackers sweat a little bit, don't give them room to breathe, and it feels like that is part of the play here. Sure, Black Ray's down, but now they've killed Coated, one of the hard breachers, and Rin. This is a massive worry because they can probably only get one hatch open now, assuming Woogie even makes it downstairs alive.
Katsang and Woogie need to be very careful here, playing in very close proximity to each other, and you just feel they're a heartbeat away from a double kill there if one of Cyclops moves in and is able to get a line of sight. Now, Cyclops have largely started dropping back to sight. I think they're actually there in completion now. There's at least 3 of them downstairs, and that's not too bad at all. They've wasted almost the entire round. There's 2 minutes gone, moving into the final minute now, and a lot of work for DWG KIA to do. And as I said, the problem that they've got is they don't necessarily have all the utility they might want. They've not got the hard breach. So Maverick, semi-hard breach, can open the hatches. It's unlikely at this stage, with the time remaining, that there's going to be any option to open any of the site walls that aren't already opened up for them. So really, they got to work with what they've got at this point and get some kills.
Absolutely that, absolutely that. But speaking of working what they've got, now you're starting to see this push down blue. The first of their 4 frag grenades actually being employed on the push down blue, led in by a drone. Again, one thing I will give to DWG KIA is their droning has been very good so far on the map against a team that really enjoys getting out in the map. But like in round 1, the clock waits for no one. 4 versus 2 for Cyclops and 7 seconds remain. Katsang, unless he pulls off an absolute hero, players 3, peek him at once, make it 4. It'll be the way to end it out. It's simply not going to happen. Yas finds 1. Got to go on to find a couple more, but the clock hits 0. Cyclops again win by the clock.
Cyclops going well so far, 3-1 on their defence, 2 more rounds to go, and looking very comfortable. What I like is that they seem to be just sitting more and more in control of this one, Des. As I said, they're sort of dictating the operator picks for DWG KIA. They've really got them dancing to their beat at the minute.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what DWG KIA need to shift up here. Look at who Yas brought along, and I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying this, Des. That's who was brought along previously. He was playing on the ace. Brought the Jackal to deal with the Caveira that was never there.
Yep.
Lost Thermite early in the round.
Yep.
Had no hard breach options other than the Maverick. Lost the round.
They were forced to push down blue.
And that is all mind games coming in from Cyclops. They're just controlling the ebb and flow of this game at the minute.
We speak about it a lot with the roam, and you know, you'll see a 1-for-1, for example, in the first 60 seconds or so and go, was that a successful roam, yes or no? In 90% of cases, I would wager absolutely yes for the defender, especially if it's a Jaeger who's already put down his ADSs, for example, on site, and then said, right guys, I'm off on the roam, I'll see you next round, for example. Pretty much aware that he is likely to die whilst out on the roam. But if you do go and pick up someone who's got valuable utility, and let's be honest, there is no such thing as not invaluable, but unvaluable utility or valueless utility on the attacking side. Sophia, with the impacts and the concussions, whether it's flashes, whether it's the Jackal tracking, whether it's frags on the sledge, it doesn't matter who you look at, it hurts to lose any attacker at that stage. The Jaeger, considerably less so. So to get 2 kills on the side of Cyclops in the early round and translate that into a win, they crippled the round from the off, essentially, and that is the kind of aggressive play that we've seen them do on this map before.
Interestingly as well, Cyclops coming in and we've got the Clash pick, Des. Now, this lineup is very, very different to the ones we've seen previously. You commented in the first few rounds, we had real roam-heavy setups, and we did. We saw them really out in the map with the Caveira, with the Ela, trying to make a nuisance of themselves. We've now got Wamai, Aruni, and Clash brought along, Bandit on the Bandit trick as well, all aimed towards...
What is this?
On-site play and preventing access to site. So it's just like a complete flip of the script from Cyclops here in terms of the defensive mentality. And I love it. It's keeping them really unpredictable from DWG KIA's side.
I'm not sure what Anderton's going for here, to be honest. I think he's waiting for them to blow the soft wall, so then he's just then stood there and basically is a replacement for the wall. I wasn't quite sure. Or he was trying to play, waiting for the game. They're just trying to impact him out. Actually, they do almost kill Woogie. If that final impact had done the damage, he would have been out of this one. And maybe now a bit nervous. One more to come through potentially. If he doesn't get that last bit here, he might just find himself going down. They're trying to spray him out, and because the connections... Oh, there we go. They got him down, but didn't kill him, and they've got no more impacts left. Unfortunate, they committed everything for it, but the top of the wall is in a spot where they need to get someone over to support the Maverick. Really good disruption from Cyclops, even when they can't play their own game here.
This has been played perfectly. Woogie's going to drop himself off the roof to allow Rin to go in for the resuscitation there. Back up onto 20 health, and he will go and continue his job. But more importantly, Des, Hap was talking only before this match about how we see that wall opened inside of 30 seconds. Look at the timer. Nearly 2 minutes burnt by Cyclops here, and this is fantastic from them. There hasn't been an effort for the ace to get in there and support from Yas. So much time wasted, and you've got a hard breacher on side. I know that they've had a bandit there playing, but at the point where the Maverick wall was opened up, it was pretty much cleared off. 2 deaths. Not looking good for DWG KIA.
2 kills inside a garage as well. They had everyone trying to put focus into pushing here, and he's just absolutely ruined them from inside of the lounge. We keep on speaking about this disruptive play. Cyclops are excelling at it. The first 2 rounds, they look very uncomfortable. Down 1 with the ones directing the conversation. But here, things are changing. Suzu C, last few bits of utility being thrown his way in the shape of frag grenades as Yas hits the deck. It's a 5 versus 2, at least temporarily, for the side of Cyclops. And with 30 seconds to play, DWG KIA are going to be struggling.
It's not the time to be picked. We've got the resuscitated Woogie man resuscitating Yastes with 20 seconds left to go. It's not the time to be playing those games. Ayagaita finds the last 20 health on Woogie man, takes him down. Yas and Rin find 2, 3 versus 2. This is on a little bit of a knife edge, but I'd still give a strong advantage to Cyclops here as time ticks away. Black Ray finds Rin on the stairs. It's too little too late. There's nothing DWG KIA can do, and that's the round to Cyclops, and boy oh boy do they look good today.
Oh, I feel so sorry for DWG KIA because they started out strong. Again, those first 2 rounds, I felt, should have been a 2-0 to DWG. And with momentum like that behind you, you just never know which way the game is going to play out. And sure, round 2 was a bit of a messy one. It was an absolute stomping from DWG KIA, somewhat thanks to the lag that we had, which has, of course, been rectified, which is always good news. The last 3 rounds, though, all in Cyclops' favour. Again, this disruptive roam-based play is really paying off in their favour. It's the thing that really stung Fnatic on their attack on Chalet back in week 1. They'd try and get inside a solarium, and straight away it was a mad charge in every single time. Cyclops being there to greet them in the building and bring down a member or 2.
Just looking at those player cams, always find them fascinating. DWG KIA just looking a bit shocked at the minute, if I'm honest. Just sort of, you know, there was a few expressions there that just sort of said to me like, wow, what is going on here? You know, it's like they've been hit by a freight train of Cyclops, just absolutely going through them at speed. 4-1 it is at the minute, and Cyclops, they're going to be looking to close out their defensive half strong here. Gym and Bedroom will be their final spot. We've seen them play here twice. It's been 50-50, 1 win, 1 loss. So there is an opportunity for DWG KIA to maybe put another round on the board, and given the way that Cyclops have played so far, that wouldn't be the end of the world for them. If you come away 2-4, you're probably feeling like you've done okay, but I wouldn't put any money on it at this point in time. Gatorada is back on the Caveira again. There's been no Jackal brought along by DWG KIA. It was something that we saw that they obviously felt was necessary to deal with that Caveira. It was picked up in a previous round, but this time not brought along. And again, it's just Cyclops seeming to dictate those operator choices.
They're just mind gaming the crap out of them right now.
They really are.
The Cav is dancing in and out. They're picking the Jackal, then it's not there. It's like you can't beat the dealer at a game of cards. They've absolutely got your number down. They know what it is you're going for. And like you say, they're really running the mill of things when it comes to the operator selection. You do see Frost quite a lot on this site. We spoke about it in EUL on Monday. It just seems to be the one site that teams really lean on, because having those Frost mats inside of Gym and inside of the bedroom window just stops attackers vaulting in and immediately taking a gunfight, because they have to shoot the Frost map first. Really inhibits them, slows them down more often than not while you're seeing picked on this map, and enables you to take other picks that I've got to lean on things like a Smoke, for example, to do all the site transformation. You can lean on the Frost and on the Aruni to be able to do that for you.
Laser gate cleared out there, allowing access in from the hot tub wall. Yas is going to apply that Selma charge onto the bathroom wall as well, which will severely limit the defenders in their options for pushing forwards back towards site. Now, there is an interesting little frost mat there, so should somebody try to sneak their way in through the soft wall rotation, we'll see whether the attackers pick up on that or not. I would expect it to have been seen on the drones. I'm still fascinated with Gatorada and exactly where he is and what impact he's going to have in this round, because Gym and Bedroom, if being pushed from hot to wall as it is at the minute, is not a site that really allows itself to big flanks. Now, yes, he's going to get in and take the head off Suzuki. That's a good start for Damwon Kia. They need to get control over Jim here and just get this diffuser down on the ground, I think. And they're limiting Gatorada to having to play up the main stairs, and that's not going to end well for the Caveira.
Absolutely not. And I don't think he knows about that frost mat that's inside of the bathroom, by the way. And here's Gato. Oh, Katsang and his number every day of the week. We spoke about the drones. This time around, it's a gun watching those flank angles. Coated's in and going for a plant and not having to make the work happen as Anaton tries yet another peek. Time and time and time again, Cyclops are doing the same thing. And at least in round 6, we get an answer from the side of Damwon. 4-2 at the half is how it's going to sit to Cyclops as they now move into their attacking half.
Damwon Kia coming out, as I say, probably reasonably happy with that after the performance of Cyclops was so dominant for a number of the sort of mid-rounds there in the first half. Coming in, they will switch sides now. Damwon Kia will have potentially the opportunity to defend for 6 rounds if they can stop Cyclops winning too many of their attacks. This is going to be an interesting start to things here over the next couple of rounds, because we need to see just how Cyclops do on the attack. How do they carry that momentum forward? Can they keep Damwon Kia guessing as they did when Damwon Kia were on the attack, or will they fall into a little bit more of a predictable pattern?
Heaven knows. Only way to find out is, of course, to get it playing out. We'll see if things transform magically here in the second half. And instantly, one of those operators that we didn't really get to see in the previous half. It's going to be the smoke coming out straight away for Coated alongside the Maestro for Woogieman. The Legion also joining in. A much more defensive setup coming out of Damwon. And I commented on this before that across the world, whether it's in Tier 1 all the way down to, say, Tier 3 play, the national levels, Tier 2 being things like Challenger League and T4 even lower than that, you see some teams, even in those lower levels, employing things like the SSG drone. They like to get out in the map, whereas some teams, I think of teams like BDS when I say this, and clearly Damwon Kia, love playing inside the site itself. Turtle down, play with Dinar with things like the impacts to deny any exothermics going down inside a kitchen, and just look to say, look, we're not going to go around the map and risk losing our lives. We prefer playing on site and taking advantageous gunfights for ourselves where you are forced to push into us. So whether or not that works out, because it will give Cyclops more time to play with on their attacking side as they haven't got to do a full roam clear, for example, that remains to be seen.
Well, initially it depends obviously on Cyclops picking up on that fact to begin with. They need to get the drones out, they need to use them efficiently and effectively so that they know exactly where these Damwon Kia players are. We've got Rin on the Jaeger, who is roaming in and around the mid-floor. The IQ going in, Ayagator doing that work immediately, taking down the Valkyrie cam. That can be a big one inside a kitchen because it prevents the potential for a Nitro. Ayagator finding Katsang, trying to sneak up the main stairs there, and he gets shut down. And if they're not careful, they could lose another head here as they make the challenge onto main stairs, but Woogie, he manages to use the Alder to maximum effect and shut Ayagator down. Does take a bit of chip damage along the way, but that's not the end of the world. That is now 4 versus 4, and IQ can be a powerful operator to lose for the attackers inside the first minute.
More like the boogeyman stepping out into the hallway with the Alder. It's not what anyone wants to be greeted in a dark corridor. However, 1 for 1, yeah, it's not the end of the world just yet. I'm thinking about the drones on the side of Cyclops. We've got about 1 minute and 45 left, and they're only down to 3 remaining on the side. It's enough, you would wager, at least to give them a little bit of information, but enough to know the positions of all 4 defenders? Maybe not. Coated, burning through these smoke canisters here like anyone's business. Is down to 1 left as the grenades start singing through. Will now be forced to back, as I imagine the black eye camera that was up here as well as the shield has now gone away. Yana comes through to know exactly where he is with the shotgun on side, wins 1. Can he find the second? Peeks out for it, does no damage onto the other side. Grenade comes singing in as they push around the angle, and this is why a smoke inside of dirt is so dangerous. Coated, a double, and shuts down the advance of Cyclops.
Beautiful play from Quarter to hold down Dirt Tunnel there. What I particularly liked, Des, was his fancy footwork. As the nade came in, he just gave it the little fade away, just take a chunk of damage, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to step up and I'm going to take your head off your shoulders, and that pretty much sways this round massively in the favour of Damwon Kia. 4 versus 2, Anaton and Black Ray with it all to do. They've got time on their side, 45 seconds, so there is plenty of sand left in the hourglass for them to work with here, but They are now falling into the lines of sight of DWG KIA, and that is going to be a big problem for them. DWG KIA know that they're playing on the kitchen hatch here. They know exactly what is coming. Woogieman's got it locked down. He's got the Alder trained in. Black Ray will find a kill onto Yas. That's a good start for Cyclops, but time is now becoming a factor as we get down to 20 seconds. They're going to be limited to a hatch drop here, and when they do, that's a dream for a Maestro. He's just going to hold Mouse 1. He's going to gun them down. Black Ray, he tries to sneak in, gets one onto Woogieman, but not before he can take down Anaton. It's Rin to finish us off inside of Church, and that is going to be the first defensive round for DWG KIA. Now, Cyclops, they had a good start, but this is game on.
This is absolutely game on. A lot of the work there being done by Coated inside of Dirt to find the 2K as well. The number of times that I've seen teams send 2, 3 players down Dirt to contest onto a smoke, and every single one of them either gets stalled out entirely by the smoke or dies to the shotgun is ludicrous. All on Coated that round, in my opinion. Once you've only got Kitchen and Mainstairs to play with 2 of you to push through, there's no way you're walking away the winner of that round. Cyclops, that lead narrows down ever so slightly here, 4-3. And Ye Old Faithful comes out. They used to play this an absolute ton at the start of last year. Anaton going across onto the Monty.
See, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a crux. Yeah, it's a little bit of a crutch pit. It's a bit like... I'll use the same phrase as I did for Virtus Pro. It's like resetting to the last known safe version of software. It's like, yeah, okay, you know, we struggled with that one. What can we do? We lost a lot of gunfights at close range. Let's bring them onto it. Like, it's the fallback plan. We'll see how it plays out. You know, it's not a criticism. Cyclops are very capable with that shield, that big shieldy boy in their hands, and we'll see if Anath can put him to work here in round number 8.
In that round, really, on the previous one, you look at the 1-for-1 that it started out and the 2Ks to follow through. Sometimes it's those pivotal moments that a round spins on. If they'd lost Dirt, probably having a very different conversation right now. Cyclops maybe sat at 5-2. As you mentioned, though, we are on the upstairs. The Monty's always an interesting one on this site for me because very commonly, we're all used to seeing it. It's a push that just comes straight up through catwalk, forces the player on their back or at least into a line of sight for another attacker who's standing at the doorway. A team used it last week, and I forget who it was, but it was a very fragmented starting attack. An opening kill coming through onto Coated on the smoke. After all the nice stuff we've just said about him, to die as the smoke, the opening kill, not ideal, Ace.
Certainly not. Gatorada picking up a big opener there. You often can't choose them, but he will take a smoke all day long. Important utility loss, both in terms of plant denial and area denial. Just able to really close down an avenue of a push if the attackers are throwing their weight behind it, but that won't be possible now. Katsang on the Valkyrie playing inside of construction for the time being. He's going to try to find himself an angle onto anybody playing onto that CCTV or construction window, but there won't be anybody there for the time being. Anaton's looking to maybe pressure into blue. We'll see exactly how that one works out. Now then, we have an exothermic charge cleared off. So that is going to be one lost. We're going to try and get the second one out here. Now, this is an interesting impact trick with it being outside.
I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. I don't know. Like, I think that's a known bug or something where you can do that, but they've got away there with, well, destroying both of the exothermics off the wall, which means CC's not going to get opened up. Makes this a much harder job now to face off against. Yeah, I mean, the Monty, they're going to have to do it all from garage or coming through cash, but even then, you've got nothing to open the wall because they've only brought, well, sorry, they've got 2, sorry. They've got the exothermics and they've got the Selmas in this case here, so you're going to have to rotate away. Rin, he knows that he's pinned, he knows that he's cornered, tries to make it happen, can't do it. Katsang's also down, 5 versus 2, and Cyclops are making this work. A couple more to find here as Yas goes down to about 20 HP. Anaton, overbearing Overlord, pushing in from catwalk. Woogie goes down. This might just be a flawless round coming through for Cyclops, and that's one way to completely turn around on its head.
Certainly is. It's been a great collapse from them. Gatorada finishes things off, and it will indeed be flawless. Anaton did prove himself to be a little bit of a menace, a little bit of a force, pushing up garage catwalk. He forced the Jaeger over the balcony to their death and then was able to get in and really pressure Yas and allow his teammates to get in there and pick up that second to last kill. So great performance. We picked up on the Monty coming into it. We questioned it may be a bit of a crutch element. It may be a little bit of a fallback, but I tell you what, Des, it's there for a reason. It's a fallback for a reason because it worked and it's going to be brought along again. No surprises there.
Alrighty, I mean, at this point, it now comes to the other side to adapt. But look what it is, Ace. It's the bait game. I think somewhat read into by the side of DWG KIA. They've also stepped away from the Legion. This time around, moving over to the Frost, as you come to expect. We spoke about it for this site. Maybe there's some assumption here on the side of Cyclops that they'll be attacking the same site once, not attacking the same site once again, sorry, that they'll be stepping into a similar composition, and they would have been right, just Elysium changing out for the Frost. Spoke about this earlier on. Really powerful for those windows to stop a vault in from the attackers, stop them taking an immediate gunfight onto a defender, because they have to worry about those frost mats at their feet. And even if they were to kill someone, they'll be down inside the site, and it's an easy collectible kill for the defenders.
Gym and bedroom then. We're going to have pretty standard setup. We've got Yas bringing the frost. We'll keep an eye on exactly where those frost mats go. We've got reinforcements heading out towards the east side. We've got Katsang playing inside of Cash. Goyo shield applied towards construction. So what we're likely to see from Damwon KIA on the defence here is a staged retreat. They know they're going to have to give up CCTV and Cash at some point, but they've got the Goyo shield inside of construction to help them fall back. That's then a fallback point. Rather than having to go all the way deep into site, they can play it from that single door, and they can still pressure on. And what that does is prevent the attackers moving in and moving north into logistics and encircling them. But the attackers, by contrast, they'll be looking to get in there, use those explosives. They've got 4 nades in hand, with Gatarada and Anaton both bringing them along, and that's going to give them plenty of opportunity to clear out that Goyo shield.
Yeah, so the plan that was employed by Damwon KIA on their attack actually was to not bother taking control of CC. They just had someone sat watching the window and did indeed find a kill from it when we had the late round flank coming out of, I believe it was Gator playing on the Jaeger. They just had someone watching the window and was easily shut down as he came to try and disrupt any setup they might have on the south window. Whereas what's going on here for Cyclops, open it up entirely, get rid of the jammer of course underneath, open out the west wall, also got the east wall opened up earlier on, and they should have a player hanging out towards there now to stop anyone running over towards CC. In fact, there's a player on the roof here who I think's looking to watch the window. It's a similar sort of setup, but they've also opened up the wall just to create that phantom pressure that I always speak about, Ace. What if there is someone there on the rappel? What if someone swings as I step into CC? It's the fear for the defenders that makes it super high risk versus high reward, or at least that's the perception.
Courted playing this sort of almost a half mirror setup, if you will. Mirror, of course, is banned out, but the principle is the same. One reinforced wall, one soft wall next to it, open up a line of sight and try to peek out. He's having to use sound instead of the vision that he might have from a mirror window, and he gets shut down. That shows the big difference that those mirror gadgets can make. Black Ray finds the kill onto Courted, and that's the mute gone. That's bathroom cleared out. 1 minute 20 left to go. We've got the breach opened up as well, giving us a line of sight all the way through. Now the gym equipment is going to protect the Valkyrie for the time being, but Katsang needs to be very careful there, just flirting with danger heading in and out of gym like that, because Black Ray now has that angle locked down. 1 minute to go. We've got Diffuser in hand. It's looking pretty good for Cyclops, but they just need a couple more kills here before they try and get this Diffuser down.
I mean, with the time they've got, yeah, it's not too bad. And a 4 versus 4, should mention. Also not too bad. There are 2 members on the drones, actually, Anaton and Suzu. As you can see, thanks to the new UI, giving you the heads up that there are 2 of them currently on drones trying to find the location of these last 4 members. Look at Rin stepping across. I hope to God they've got someone watching this window. They do, but Rin almost wins it out finally.
That's
does.
nice.
Gator even knew that he was there, and Cyclops had someone on the roof. They should have been able to win that, but sadly could not. Rin finds a second because it was Anaton watching him. Again, is this one player on the side of Damwon shutting everything down? The answer might just be yes, as Yasing swings around from main stairs, finds himself the 2K. They have just been torn asunder by these late round roams, something that Damwon KIA was so good at controlling on their attacks.
No way that plant goes down with only 2 men left alive. It was tough for Cyclops. They had to make a move. They had to try something, but at that point they were just faced with defenders collapsing back to site extremely rapidly, and it was only ever going to end one way, and that's exactly what it did, with Damwon KIA taking themselves another round. They're keeping themselves in the fight, keeping themselves in touch. We could have the potential of another overtime for Damwon KIA here, Des. They are competitive, they are in the fight, and Cyclops unable as of yet to find that real critical blow that just puts them in the dirt.
Indeed, I mean, the fight back may just be there. Give it a bit more time, we'll see how it shapes up. An interesting, okay. I see you, Suzu. I see the glass pit coming out. No smokes on side, of course. You're looking mainly towards Black Ray for those. He's the one who's got the 2 smokes. But look down the side of Cyclops, by the way. 6 frag grenades they're bringing along here. The 2, of course, coming along on Glass. You've got Maverick and Sledge. Looking on the other side, there's only going to be the Jaeger Sure, nothing to burn through them except frags in this case. So I'm thinking, all right, burn through 1 or 2. This is going to be a nade spam into blue, I expect. This is often what we've seen a few teams do, is say, look, we've got so many frags, we don't have to worry about flashes, and we know that there's only 1 frag that can be burnt by each ADS. Normally you'll see 2 placed on the back of this stack, unless Rin opts to go for all 3. I think it's just the 2 here as the one that's already gone down elsewhere. Imagine somewhere around dirt. So they can trick a couple of nades into that. The 3rd and 4th one, they'll kill him if he's playing behind Generator Ace.
Yeah, I'd expect that grenade indicator to be put through its paces in this round at some point, as we will see them raining in, no doubt. Blackray just getting on the drone as the Thermite, looking to clear the way for Alligator to move into kitchen, clear out any Valkyrie cams and information. As I said, often used to support, same location as taken out previously, often used to just support a vertical nitro attempt into kitchen. It's one of the more common places that you will find those vertical nitro kills. Default cam taken out as well. Alligator doing his job before moving forward. Now, he did find a kill on the stairs last time. Katsang challenging on the Valkyrie. Tries to just push him away. Interesting little bait play there. Just wasn't quite quick enough. He makes the challenge onto Alligator, knowing that he's likely to retreat. So then tries to get the nitro in the path of his retreat, but doesn't quite catch it. The nade goes down into dirt tunnel. Courted. He's once again proving just how stoic and solid he is in this location.
Thought he was going to get taken down by that one, but not even a lick of damage on his side as he goes, yep, okay, I see what the plan is now. They've got 4 frag grenades pushing down here. I've only got 1 ADS inside. I'm going to get out of here. Peace out. And they have bats away. They had these 2 stacking up, a 3rd one looking to push down as well. Surely there's a drone going down here to let them know there's no one else present as well. That this should be clear. They had 2 drones raining in front of them just about 10 seconds ago. So sure enough, you'll find Suzuki able to get inside of dirt. If they get a good smoke down here from the Thermite, the angles that he holds might just be absolutely lethal through the smoke. In case you didn't know, of course, Glad's recently got not so much rebalance, but changed to have his kind of reset time reduced a little bit, so he's a bit more viable now than he was previously.
Suzuki just trying to find that angle between the shield and the boxes, but it's been well deployed and he cannot manage to get too many shots through there. Courted has taken a little bit of damage, but so has the Glass. Now Suzuki, he manages to find that smoke finally with one of those grenades, but will be shut down by Woogieman on the close angle with the Alder. Immediate trade from Blackray following up in dirt tunnel though. 50 seconds left to go, and with 5 versus 4.
With 3 frag grenades still on side. Coated has been playing baseball in this round. Every single frag grenade has been committed his way. The 3rd one did finally find its target, but with 3 more remaining, I'm slightly nervous that they might be able to catch a couple more out, as long as they know where they are with the information being fed by these drones, of which they only have 1 left. It's on Anderson. He's the support player, so fine, you'll take it being on him, but given that he's got a frag grenade still on side, you need that to be in such a critical position that you really need this information gain to come true for you.
Interesting position from Rin on the Jaeger there, just holding that stock door. It is only a short sort of hop and a skip into kitchen, and that's exactly where now then this will be completely unexpected. Above in kitchen, this could be a big player from Rin. 4 versus 2 though in the favour of Cyclops. Diffuser goes down and Rin has announced their presence inside of kitchen and will start to find shots raining in. Manages to get a kill onto Gatarada, but not before taking an absolute chunk of damage. Moves down the main stairs, gets another, but shut down by Alligator, and that's going to be Cyclops taking the round and taking the match point opportunity now.
I like the adaptation coming out of Cyclops. The grenades coming through that we mentioned, all 6 of them just saying, right, these are going straight down dirt. We don't even want to see the smoke. We want them dead before we even think about going anywhere near dirt tunnel. So really good play coming out of Cyclops, and good adaptation out of Kota to back away. Sadly, those grenades followed him way through dirt, unfortunately, and right into the back of sight as well. And then the kitchen drop came through. I honestly thought for a second Rin might play massive spoiler in that round, but
I did.
Sadly couldn't quite find the angle. The attackers a little bit too fast on their feet, I think, to get caught out.
It's just one of those really interesting rotations that you can make that's not generally watched because it's external.
Yeah.
It's the same as, you know, if you think back to the days of Border where you'd have the rotation from Armory Door into security, you can just cut across the little sort of breach area there, and it was worth a try. It could have been one of those really big moments. Had the stars aligned for Rin, you get 2 or 3 easy kills while Cyclops are all milling around that diffuser, but it didn't play out that way. Cyclops ultimately putting those 6 nades to extremely valuable use to get themselves, you know, unlock the chest of treasure that was Arsenal and get themselves inside to get that diffuser down.
I did jump in the WhatsApp group, by the way, and asked the guys backstage. I was like, what happened with the CC wall impacts? And what actually happened, but it transpires, they got underneath with the Selma to remove the mute jammer, and that destroyed the smallest slither at the bottom of the wall, so impact nade to get tossed underneath.
You've got to be careful.
And I was like, in what world is that ever seen as a good idea to chuck a Selma near a hard wall that you want to keep closed? You can exothermic it. It made it all too easy to deny, and sure, Cyclops went on to get a flawless in the rounds. Ultimately, it doesn't matter all that much. It's one of those small, interesting things that's I'd say the main reason why you'd normally see like a Sophia or an Ashe playing on the downstairs and using the soft destruction abilities rather than looking towards something else. And here, they've already shot out the bottom side of this wall. I wonder why. I'm wondering maybe it was initially at least for the same sort of setup, but I really doubt that's going to be the case. Either way, down one step back into the same site with somewhat the same intent. And then look over to the side of Cyclops. Honestly, I am so not used to seeing teams like innovate in terms of their attacking lineup on this map. Tell me the last time that you saw Glaz, Capitao and IQ in an attacking lineup onto Clubhouse.
Well, this is why we love APAC North, Des, because, you know, this is
get some spice.
This is the region that we get some spice and that we get a little bit of sort of, you know, attempt at those unique plays, those different setups, and it always is fascinating to watch how it plays out. Now, Black Ray is going to be particularly important in this one because they're going to need to get that East Breach open if at all possible. They managed to win without it last time, but they did have the shield to play behind, so they don't have that luxury this time. So that's why I say it's particularly important. They're not going to want to have to manage without the East Breach. Now, Black Ray just particularly sort of keenly aware of that blue stairs window there. Not sure if he's just looking at that with a little bit of prior knowledge maybe. There's been somebody drawn out in that area. We're going to have him moving down and just looking to draw out stock. He's very conscious of anybody potentially playing downstairs at the minute.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the last time they've got to make it work as well. Needs to be flawless from the side of Damwon, not literally in terms of how the round goes. It needs to be a flawless round, but it needs to be executed to perfection if they're going to walk away the winner. You know, I'll give him a shout out again as well. Coated I've been really impressed by so far. I think he's had a really good game, just falling short in a couple of the rounds where it's absolutely critical for him to get a big clutch off or do something right for them. On the other side, it's Galarada, another player that we have to give a bit of celebration to. Mentioned back in week one, 30 kills between him and Black Ray. I forget the exact split, but it was a decent game overall for them to absolutely roll over the side of Fnatic. And I say absolutely, it was an 8-6, fine. However you want to look it down. Looking towards the gadget change coming out for Anderton, by the way, as well. Smokes coming through, as well as the thermite here. Suggests to me now it's less about the frags and more about the smokes they want to play behind. Get the angles set up on side. You've also got the Capitao with the smoke bolts. There is a lot of smoke. There's a playground being set up for the side of, for Anderton here to use with the Glaz. But it's about making sure he doesn't get picked off. They don't lose the smokes, for example. There's lots to consider.
Utility being expended.
Why would you stand in the door?
Doesn't matter as Yas manages to just fire blindly through the smoke there and finds the head of Suzuki regardless, taking the Capitao down. There is an immediate trade though, and another one follows in from Gatarada onto Rin, leaving us 4 versus 3. Cyclops now have the advantage, and it just feels for DWG KIA like no matter what they do on this site, it never seems to be enough. As Ayagator comes in with a big 2, Woogieman manages to fight back. He's got the perfect weapon for it, we know this, but he's in a 1 versus 4, 1 versus 3 now after that kill. Can he find the next? No! Shut down on the long angle from the garage stairs, and that is going to be the round and the game for Cyclops.
Couple of scary moments for Cyclops throughout, I think. Down one, looking good, especially in the early rounds. But as the game wore on, I think we saw Cyclops getting more and more comfortable into the game. Again, a couple of dicey moments for themselves, but coming into a map that they've banned away, 5 times as much as they have let through the banning phase this year, even if ultimately they didn't pick it very often. I think that's not a bad outcome for the side of Cyclops, still holding themselves up there as one of the top teams in APAC North.
They are, and for me, DWG KIA, it's another one of those moments where I'm like, come on, DWG KIA, you can do this. I know that you can. They've shown some great ability inside Clubhouse there. They had some really nice kills, really nice plays, did things. I just think that they let Cyclops dictate the play a little bit too much there with the couple of operator picks that we mentioned, and just allowed them to dictate things a bit.
Couldn't quite run circles around them with the Kavira, but did so with the Kavira pick. That's a slightly different thing, but hey, all good for Cyclops in the end. And for Down One, still chasing that elusive win, but there are some things in there that are starting to look sharp for them, and hopefully that comes to light in the next couple of weeks. Let's go over to the desk and get their thoughts on this game.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We are back on the analyst desk.